Hey everybody, it's Tom Barnes at the Carole Robertson Center for Learning here in the Little Village neighborhood, and it is very much living up to its name, Community Learning Center. From 0 to 17, kids can come here and further enrich their development, and they offer programs for in-home learning, online learning, in-classroom learning. It's kind of what you want. They listen to the community and they give back to the community, all the way up to Albany Park on the north side, down to Roseland, to the city limits west on the south side. It is a true Chicago scene type of place. I'm going to talk to Sonia, who's in charge of the whole thing right now for the Chicago scene. So let's go inside. Remember when we were all that age?
That's
this is
right.
like the best part of being a kid. Hi Sonia, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for letting me come and crash the party a little bit here today. So tell me about this organization and how you guys service the community.
Absolutely. The Carole Robertson Center was founded more than 40 years ago by a dedicated group of families who are working to save their after-school program. And since then, we've grown to serve more than 1,000 children and youth every day across varied program models. Here you see the traditional center-based models.
Yeah.
We serve families through family child care in their homes, home visiting, and we have a really robust out-of-school time, after-school enrichment program that we still offer all these years later. We were founded by families who were rooted and committed to social justice and equity. Our name, the Carole Robertson, grounds us in.
Yeah, that's
that
a historical name. Why don't you explain that
Absolutely.
just real quick there?
Of course, Carole Robertson was one of 4 little girls murdered in the Birmingham bombing. And we do her work in her name and in the memory of those 4 little girls. We have, over the years, there's a very deep and loving, caring relationship with the Robertson family. Carole's big sister still serves as an honorary member of our board. And we, every day, in looking at our name, we're reminded of why we do what we do, because we're giving children what was denied to Carole and those 4 little girls.
And you do it all throughout the community here. Run down the list of the community served of this organization.
Yeah, absolutely. So here, what we consider...
We're in Little Village right now,
Yeah,
right?
We're in Little Village now, one of our flagship buildings. We have the building here in Little Village, and also a building very similar to this in North Lawndale. So a lot of our work, right, is in these buildings and outside of these buildings, but we actually cast a wide net across the community. We support partners in Austin. We have we have partners on the South Side, and we offer services. Because we offer services in all those varied and dynamic ways, we're able to cast a wide net for service. We also have a home visiting program.
Which came in real handy during the pandemic, and you guys were ahead of the curve. It wasn't something that you started because of the pandemic. You were already well ahead of that, and it just kind of was in a not so great time, but it was serendipitous for you guys to be able to offer that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we, home visiting has a long tradition in early childhood education, and we've been offering home visiting for almost as long as we've been offering early learning, which is more than 20 years. We recently expanded our home visiting program, believe it or not, to West Ridge, where we serve the Rohingya community, and we have home visitors from that community who are Carole Robertson Center employees serving 36 children and their families. And so that program has been around for about a year now, a little over a year. We're so excited that we'll be deepening our footprint on the north side through the Early Head Start Expansion Grant, as we'll be serving upwards of 24 children and their families through that home visiting model in Albany Park, which, as you know, has, as we've talked about, there's a gap in availability of affordable 0 to 3 services in Albany Park. So we're really excited about that.
And one of the reasons why that you were able to do that is because of the grant. I mean, $20 million over a certain amount of years that allows you to extend the footprint from not only the flagship here and the one in Lawndale to these, your arms reach out throughout the city, right?
Believe it or not, as far north as Albany Park and as far south as Roseland, we'll be able to serve.
That's a mass. That's a giant net that you guys are casting. That's so great.
We'll be able to serve 185 infants, toddlers, and expectant mothers. That's $20 million over 5 years. So just imagine the joy and fun and access to resources and loving relationships that you saw here today. To be able to offer that and so many other points throughout the city is really exciting for us.
And you also mentioned earlier when we were talking about how, there's families that fit all different molds as far as their work and home life balance, and the first responders and the essential workers throughout this pandemic don't have the luxury of staying home, so they have to go out and work, and their kids need to be able to go somewhere, and this was a space for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We really believe, and it's borne out through the early childhood literature, that early learning is good for all children, whether their families have to work or not. But our families are the essential workforce. And our founding, that sort of connection to social justice and equity has always been with families, by families, and for families, right?
Yeah.
And so we give families any access to any model that they choose. Some families, as great as it is to be here today, some families don't really want a really big center environment, so we can connect them with one of our family child care providers. Some families would rather receive services in their home through home visiting. And so this early Head Start grant, what's so amazing is it allows for all of that. So we really have the ability to give families what they want. They have voice and they have choice.
And you are able to offer those services at a very, very young age, because learning at such a young age is vital. What's the age groups that you guys, or what's the range of the age that you have?
Absolutely. Believe it or not, early Head Start was designed for 0 to 3. So
that's early.
Yeah, believe it or not, you start with the expectant mom. And that program carries that mom and that child through, that family and that child through, until that child is 3 years old. And many of our children who start with the expectant mom and then the child ages through the early Head Start experience, they enroll in our Head Start programming, preschool for 3 to 5. And with our out of school time program, they often transition to out of school time care. We have a dedicated room, believe it or not, for kindergartners who have been with us, many of whom started at 6 weeks and now are with us for their kindergarten out of school time.
For people who want more information about what you guys do and how you offer it, or if people want to be involved, what's the best way for that?
I'd say go on our website, CaroleRobertsonCenter.org. And there's a volunteer board. Reach out to us. I'm listed there. The rest of our leadership team are listed there, and their phone number's there as well.
And that could be for any parent or guardian that's looking for a little extra help with care, or just want to have their kids have the enriched learning that you guys offer on top of what is offered by the CPS community and the educational process.
Absolutely.
Right?
On that website, there's a link that families can fill out, and they just can provide their name and phone number, indicate what age of service they're looking for or what the need is, and we'll get right back to them. It shoots right to us.
Well, thank you for letting me check out the space here. It seems like a lot of fun. This outdoor space is incredible. So keep doing the great work that you guys are doing and helping Chicago. That's great.
Thank you. Yeah. Great to have you today.
No problem. It's the Carole Robertson Center here in the Little Village neighborhood. TBARNAS at WGNTV.com. That's TBarnas at WGNTV.com. From 0 to 17 years old, the programs offered here are for families to get back in the community, get back to school, further enrichment. It's really a great program, so be sure to check it out at WGNTV.com. I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.